We're going. So whenever you want to,
I don't even know how to start this episode.
let's just start like this. This is perfect. I don't even know how to start.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I mean, you
So,
start with guess who's back.
There's a
again.
strategy. Oh wait, there's a strategy in like boxing where you tire out your opponent by just taking as many punches as you can to hopefully tire him out and come out. So I was just at the local high school hockey game, and I'm pretty sure the coach threw that strategy in because with 3 minutes left in the first period, there was 13 shots to our 0, 1-0. Going into the third period, it was 2-0, and we won in overtime 3-2 against a really good team. It was freaking amazing. And the ref
Jeez.
made some such bad calls. And so I'm just screaming and yelling because I don't have a kid in the game. So I can really go nuts at yelling at the ref, which don't ever yell at refs unless they really are bad like these guys and called some really, really, really bad penalties.
Yeah.
Like they called them on us when it's shooting on the other team. It was even the kids were losing their minds on the ice. But yeah, so that's it's I guess that's a good strategy. So just tire them out by taking all the punches and then just win.
I guess you just, if you know, like, hey, we've got a fucking goalie with a golden glove that can do
Oh, he
the
did
fucking
tonight.
splits. Like, yeah, sure. Let's just let them wear themselves out, just shooting at our goalie.
I think they were just shy of 40 shots, 2 goals on 40 shots.
Jesus
So he did pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
that goalie did work. Yeah.
Good old Minnesota sports hockey. That was the last home game for the seniors, my son's class. So it was fun to go watch them win against a game they had no business beating that team. So that was awesome.
Who'd they play? What in the city?
Providence private school.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that
all our
St.
listeners
Francis
probably know who that is.
Yeah, everyone knows. But where I went to high school is in the same conference as
if you're
where
listening
Mason's
to
kid
us
goes.
and you don't know Minnesota high school hockey stuff, why are you even listening to us at this point? Like
Blake's like, shit, should I be here?
I don't. Yeah, that's so growing up in Iowa, that's like been the biggest culture change is that you would assume Iowa being directly south, just a couple hours away from where we are now, would have some interest in hockey with how much Minnesota loves hockey, but no. Like there's in the town I grew up in, there were like 3 high schools, and there was one hockey team amongst all of them, and they didn't really have like multiple shifts. It was like just enough kids and a couple extras to field to like put a team on the ice.
To field the team. Yeah, that's
field them on the pitch.
I just assumed you field a team everywhere. Like you could field a team. I don't know. I was just
in
using
hockey,
it as a phrase.
even. Yeah.
In hockey, I mean, I'd field a team in baseball, basketball. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Another random thought of the day. So
do you have to court a team in basketball? Do you ice a team in hockey? You rink a team? If you rink them, do we rink a team?
Random thought of the day.
Yep.
Have you guys ever saw the show? And this is for everybody. Flight of the Conchords.
Mm-hmm. God, yes.
They're from New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was a rhetorical question. I know they're from New Zealand, right? That's the whole shtick of the show.
We don't know with you. Yeah.
So it's super funny, but I was thinking about, in previous episodes, I may or may not use like Australian references towards New Zealand, which probably triggers them. But thinking back to that show, like New Zealand was like the older brother that always picked on the New Zealand because they had the embassies right next to each other in America. And the Australians are always like, we're like, oh, we're Australia. Go fuck your, like, we're the big country, just New Zealand. I was thinking about that after all the shit I said. I'm like, God, that's really funny. I wonder if that's like triggered in my mind from watching that show. That's where all that comes from. So I don't even know that, but that's where it was programmed. So if New Zealanders don't like it, it's your fault. It's your product of Flight of the Conchords that put that shit into my head. So not my fault. Just throwing that out there.
From that show, the only guy I ever remember is Jermaine Clement, the actor. That's like the actor that I'm always referenced, but only because
that show is so hilarious.
Many things, and he always plays weird characters, bizarre. Like he plays the giant crab thing in Moana.
Mm-hmm.
And he sings his song. He plays the villain bird in Rio, and then he plays what's his name, Kieran, in Dinner for Schmucks. Like the guy, like the weird artistic guy
sounds right.
Yeah,
That's an underrated show, by the way.
that's an
That's
underrated
complete-
movie for sure.
Movie?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Most Beautiful Girl in the Room. I mean, what a great song. Come on. Got to just one of my favorite songs from that show. So I was trying to find while I was blathering stuff, I was looking for Blake's show notes because before we came on, I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, guys.
Blake once again sent us like very solid show notes.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at.
We will unabashedly ignore.
Ignore without any sense of concern. It's just like, nope, I don't care. Okay.
So I'm going to throw a quick segue into the show notes. Traps are back. What do we think about the return to Rangers traps? That next.
Did you
an Outcast? Wait, what are we? Okay, Outcast Haven Pass.
Yeah, we didn't name ourselves after a fab.
Why did we go with two names?
thing.
Like it really, when you go Outcast Podcast and then they throw the Haven in the middle. Why did we do that? It's hard for me to say fast. It just doesn't come out. I can't. My brain doesn't like it.
We could just do Outcast Podcast or Outcast.
Oh, see, that's our two Outcast Podcast.
Why not just Outcast?
Yeah,
That's Outcast and Podcast put together, just Outcast.
That makes
sense actually.
Right. That feels like something where it's a classic example of someone having a brilliant branding idea that then you have to explain every time you it's like, yeah, so I have I'm on this thing called the Outcast, and they're like, what is it? It's like, it's a podcast.
If you say it with the right inflection, it gets it across.
Right.
I'm on the
people
Outcast.
just look at you and you're like, I'm on the Outcast.
Yeah, you have to put the emphasis on the cast.
You just look at them and they're like, and it's
Jesus Christ, you guys. Okay,
podcast.
why don't more people listen to us with this quality fucking bullshit? It blows my mind.
Yeah.
God damn. Can we move on to actually talking about some subjects?
Okay.
What subjects do we want to talk
question
about?
is,
Traps.
so Jason,
Let's talk about traps.
you were at a hockey game tonight. So did you see the card?
No, I'm actually looking for where is spoilers?
I've got it for you. It's not in I don't know if it's in spoilers yet. There was an article, James White released an article basically saying that they're revisiting traps. The only traps that exist are in Crucible. So they said that basically what they're going to do is, Jason, are you ready for this? Are you ready for
Hit me.
Hurricane? Traps are going to be able to be played from hand.
Oh, that's bullshit. I don't believe a word that's coming out of your mouth right now.
Except for the first three. The first three are not going to be able to played from hand. They're going to get altered text that says these specific cards must be played from Arsenal, but traps going forward will be able to be played from hand.
So do they think they would be overpowered? Like Azalea would start winning every pro quest. The top players are bringing her to the pro tour because we allow traps to be played out of hand. Suddenly, she's the most broken hero in all of Fab. What happened? Well, I
say they just let us play arrows from hand. Just let us play arrows from hand.
Dylan was ahead of his time. He was throwing arrows at the tails of Aria, release from hand. Rangers awesome. Boo, boo.
Wait until we see an arrow in this set that can be fired from hand. And then they're going to have to errata every arrow ever made to saying that this specific arrow these arrows all have to be used from Arsenal, but the new arrows can be fired.
That's cool.
So the new one, legendary Riptide specialization. Are you ready? When this defends an attack with Go Again, the attacking hero discards their hand, then draws that many cards -1.
Wait, what is this? Where is that? What?
It's at the bottom of the article. That's the card. It's the Riptide specialization.
So I'm going to be playing a Fat Ranger for sure.
Fat Ranger, baby.
Because that sounds amazing.
The Toxic Range Venger.
So
that's right.
Did they figure out with testing this new, what we assume is going to be a Ranger Trap or Trap Ranger? Is it a Ranger Trap if you play him, or is he a Trap Ranger?
He's a Trap Ranger.
Trap Ranger. That's like a rap term, isn't it? Trap.
Yeah. Trap
bitches.
Trap,
you're so hip with it, Jason.
You're so.
I don't know what it means. I don't Don't ask me what it means. I just have heard the term before. I have no idea. Just because I say, "Hey, what's up, trap bitches," doesn't mean I understand what I'm saying. I've just heard the lingo before.
I could just picture you walking down to your basement with Mason and his buddies hanging out and just like, "What's up, trap bitches?" Just like,
Oh, do you think I probably have done that? If I hear stuff like that, of course I've done that. You gotta test it out.
Do you know the rapper T.I.?
Treasure Island Casino. That's what we call
exactly.
Ti.
T.I., the rapper T.I. It's like a trap music is like hip hop from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
not
there we
just
go.
it's a specific like genre.
Thank
So
you.
when I go
Thank you
down
for
there
the
and say,
lesson.
"What's up,
Trap
trap
music.
bitches?" I'm saying, "What's up, Atlanta bitches?"
Atlanta. Yeah,
So
exactly. Yep.
I'm just a lie. I'm just a walking lie.
Yes.
So
Yes. What do you think about this, Jason? Because I think it's fucking. I love punishing go again because that's something in the game that hasn't really been addressed, like directly.
Yeah.
I like that aspect that you have to, if you are like a go wide deck, you have to play in with this acknowledgement. Granted, it's only in this one ranger deck, but as a concept, I like it a lot.
I mean, the fact that, of course, once again, we know how powerful Azalea's getting. Let's just make sure that it's a legendary and there's only one, because God forbid that you had 2 or 3 of these.
This is Riptide specifically, so legend. She's not going to get to touch it at all.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't give her help.
Which
Yeah,
is
that
good.
makes
I
sense.
wouldn't help
She's
Azalea.
Yeah,
She's too OP. She's broken as fuck.
she's so busted. I like conceptually where they're going with it. I am very interested to see my first question seeing this card, and I'm curious what other people think is it's cool. I like the concept. How do you win with a deck if all you play is defense reactions that are traps? Unless they deal damage, what what are you doing, right?
So
Like, how do you
here's my question.
Mhm.
Who planted the explosives on this bridge? Because the explosions are on top, but somehow it fell down. Shouldn't they be like on the pillars going up for the explosion
No.
to fall?
So,
And
look,
if
I got a question, Jason. If you think the explosions were underneath, like, you got a problem with the explosions because it's falling down after the explosion?
well, what did the explosions dismantle that made the bridge fall? And maybe the bridge was already not there because it doesn't look like it's. Then, like, the guys are just stupid that ran across this
Like it's an
big hole in the
illusionary
bridge.
bridge.
I just don't like the explosion placement of the bridge.
yeah, I mean, you're seeing it. Maybe you're seeing it later. I don't know. They're blowing up either side, so the middle falls down. I don't know. Riptide also. It's interesting that he's the trap guy because I'm not gonna lie.
He looks shisty to me. He looks like he sets traps.
He looks shisty, but I always imagine like the Rangers have always kind of been like they've given us this perception of Ranger that they're like fragile and nimble, which is why they have like this light armor. They're like hiding and they're always shooting from a distance. And then we're getting Riptide, who definitely doesn't seem like the guy who's like sneaking around.
Exactly.
Like, he's got to be. I mean, that's not the kind of guy that like really sneaks up on you, right?
No, but he looks like the dude that
No,
leaves
the
bear
locals-
traps inside
the
of like
locals-
a bounty's front door.
Oh, he definitely seems like a guy with traps. I'm just always think it's funny because it's like they have to like reframe Ranger specifically for him because he also doesn't look like he fights with a bow.
Well, the locals saw him place these bombs because he was a bumbling idiot. He's freaking huge. Like he didn't, like
Yeah.
you said, he didn't sneak up. And they're like, dude, I wouldn't go that way. We're pretty sure there's this huge brute looking dude. For some reason, he stole some dude's bow. Is putting bombs out there. So I probably just wouldn't go that way. Because if you do, you won't go again. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. I like
That
it.
was
I
kind of like
do.
a.
I will say, I think the thing I like about it is that they make him discard their hand and then draw that many -1.
Right.
Dude,
So-
that's
that I mean, it's
That's a lot. Like
is-
that's
a lot of cards.
significant. If
Now,
if they play a go again card from Arsenal and you're just like discard all 4 cards and then draw 3.
if they were really spicy, they would have made this a dual class Riptide Arachni specialization to get that engine going. That would have been good for him.
Yeah,
So there's
very good. Yes.
But as a one of, I think that would have been a cool card
Yeah,
to do
like
a
a
dual
dual-
specialization on. It would have been really cool because it's only one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He needs help, right?
Mhm.
Because he just and obviously he's going to get help in the set because there's
Right. Yeah.
there's assassins, but that would have been just a really cool thing for an assassin, like to have a
Yeah.
trap as well, because you're an assassin.
Yeah.
Sometimes assassins
Assassins
use
have
shit to
traps.
blow. Yeah, like Casino, placing the bomb in the dude's car. He walks in, blows up. I mean, that's a trap, right? Done by an assassin.
I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. So at the beginning of the article, he says when designing Outsiders, we wanted to revisit traps to differentiate the two rangers that feature in the product. So they want to have Riptide be like the trap guy, and then Azalea be
From
a
Atlanta.
traditional. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wanted to be. He's the Atlanta Ranger. That's where he's from. But they also, because they offer a natural shared flavor that sits well within the assassin / ranger hybrid cards, which to Jason, your point means that
Mhm.
it seems to
They're
like
thinking.
infer.
They're thinking like you.
Yeah, seems to infer that we're gonna get assassin ranger hybrid cards that should be traps.
That'd be
I
cool.
think that's what assassin needs. That I think assassin will be fun to play.
Yeah.
And it'll probably get to the point. Here's where I see assassin. Assassin is what was the last green? Was it green Frieza that I played in DBS?
Yes.
Yep.
Free
Where I
shot.
just
red Frieza. Are you talking about the red one?
No, what was the green deck that I played at the end where I just took the cards, all of them?
There was Frieza.
Was it Frieza or was it
Mhm.
cooler? I don't think there was a green Frieza deck.
I don't remember, but there was a green deck where you just take all their
The red
cards.
cooler.
And
Oh, you were
as a
playing
player-
red blue Frieza. That's right. No, I don't know what
right,
the,
but then I played a green deck at the
I don't
end
know what the
where
green one was.
I don't remember
Yeah, I
all the
can't
cards,
remember.
but there was some sick stuff. But as a player, it was amazing to play. But playing against it was just like, why do I even play this game? This
That was
is
like
this
Piccolo.
is miserable.
Piccolo was a fucking cock.
Oh, I hated that deck.
I was frustrated with Robert. I was like, Robert, I don't want to play games with you. And that was me being a baby. But
I'm wondering if that's what Assassin's going to turn into, because it could.
yeah,
Yeah.
It has, which I mean, I'll probably play it then if it turns into a true like you just don't get to play. That's the type of thing you bring to big events. Like honestly,
Yeah.
you say
even
that now, but then
Oldham-
it's like that's what Starvo was, and you fucking immediately hated that because everyone was on it, and that's what Prism was to Guardian, and you
a
hated,
little bit.
you guys both
just-
hated that.
Oldham did it to Fi in a sense by ice reacting. I remember at the BH 5 players getting extremely frustrated playing me, and like inside I was laughing so hard on the inside just because it's like, don't get all pissy because you can't go 15 cards wide against me because I'm not going to let you. But you're still attacking and still doing a lot of the stuff that you want to do. I'm just not letting you do 15 cards. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. We're not having any of that.
I'm personally excited for Trap Ranger because I play Kano. So have fun with your deck full of defense reactions. You can have just the time of your life. Enjoy
The problem
yourself.
with that is they keep making anti-Kano cards with these cards that are instants at block, which I didn't think was going to be a big deal, but with Bolton, that game I will never win without the Oasis Respites.
Oh,
like
for sure.
just
Yeah.
0 wins.
Yeah, I mean Oasis is really good. The most recent one just works against physical damage, so it doesn't.
I didn't even look at it.
Yeah. The peace of mind or peace, whatever the
Yeah.
peaceful one is that they revealed. It says it's got the next time you would be dealt physical damage. It has the physical damage symbol. It doesn't work against arcane damage.
So I didn't see that. I just saw it when dealt damage. I didn't know if it was physical or.
Yeah. It's got the little physical damage symbol on it.
See, that to me, like as an instant, I don't understand that.
It's that one is a really bad. It's a very bad rate. Sink below, or because it's going to be
Or even rise above would be better than that.
Well, and what's interesting to me is like everybody, that card to me, it makes me laugh because I feel like people just want to hate Oldham and they just want a reason to complain about him, and they want a reason to complain about Chrono Seeds, which I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's like you can complain about something over and over and over again, but if you're the minority of people doing it, you're clearly not speaking for everyone. You're probably wrong. If everybody else is saying it, right? Like in a card game like this, it's like everyone evaluates the card and says, yes, the card is very good. No, the card is not broken beyond repair. The idea that card they're like, well, you can crown and then you can block with that card and you can block with the rest of your hand. You're like, hey, dum. Yes, but you have to. It's 2 cards. You have to pitch a card to pay for it because it costs 2. You can't do it off Tunic. You don't get like. Yes, you can block with it and you can Crown of Seeds if you have the arsenal. But again, we've already seen that they're coming up with solutions for those things. They've got these tokens like the inertia token that makes you destroy your arsenal in your hand. They're coming up with solutions for some of these cards. And I think I get where people are coming from, that some of them have been around for too long, but I'm okay with them printing solutions as opposed to banning cards. I much prefer that world where they go, you know what, this interaction and this game state type is problematic. Let's just fix it. Let's fix it with cards that create a better and more interesting and diverse metagame, as opposed to let's just ban more stuff. Let's just ban everything that's a problem, because that's how we fix things. It's like, well, no, if you keep banning things, something else becomes a problem, because what's it holding back? What's it stopping from happening that's there? You want me on that wall kind of thing.
You need me on that wall. Yep.
So the new bow that's coming out, the barbed, what is it, barbed castaway?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we have text? Does anybody? I can't read it on my.
I've got it.
What is it? What does it say?
Once per turn instant, pay 1, you may put an arrow card from your hand face up into your arsenal. Second, once per turn instant, pay 1, you may turn a face down arrow in your arsenal face up. If you do, put an aim counter on it. So they're not only doing traps again, but we're actually getting aim counter support, which is cool, because I was definitely concerned that aim counters were going to be something that they introduced in Dynasty and then just kind of like left
because
floating.
Yeah.
But they clearly had a plan for it going forward. I think that this card is going to be the token bow. That would be my guess. I think this will be the set's token bow, the one that you can get in draft.
Right.
Does it not have the rarity on it?
It has a promo rarity. Typically, when they do, typically when
gotcha.
they reveal weapons and stuff, they reveal them with the promos if they're prior to actual spoiler season. So that way, we're not 100% sure what it is.
You like the playmat? The People's Champs playmat looks pretty good. Do we know what the other 3 cards are? The Spike with Blood Rot, Inertia, and Frailty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those, I'm pretty sure those were the ones spoiled already.
Oh, okay. The ones that.
Yep.
But have we seen
We're
all the
at the
tokens
event.
for them yet?
Yep. The Inertia, Blood Rot, and Frailty tokens. Yep. We've seen all those.
And then there was another one spoiled, which I don't remember, on TC's live feed.
That was the Peace of Mind one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or whatever it was. Yep. That was the one that seemed, I think people immediately got, like, they jumped on it, and then it was like, hold on. It's like, gotta read it again, check it. Hold on, I'm going to Fabrary quick to try and find the spoilers for those tokens, because here we go. So the Blood Rot Pox is at the beginning of your end phase, destroy Blood Rot Pox, then it deals 2 damage to unless you pay 3. Which seems very good into decks like Fi and stuff that, want to run all reds. Frailty seems like it's going to be cool in sealed. It's a little strange.
Yeah.
Your attack action cards played from Arsenal and weapon attacks have -1. Like, that one is, it's a card. And then Inertia
seems good into Ranger.
Yeah, right. Because that's what we needed, more Ranger hate. That's the card that's who we're really worried about.
That's what we need to
Ranger.
balance. Yeah.
At the beginning of your end phase, destroy Inertia, then put all cards from your hand and Arsenal on the bottom of your deck. So that one is pretty nasty, because anytime you can keep someone from having an Arsenal, turns out it's good. That's I mean, Seek and Destroy is a card that obviously Azalea loves, and I think any card that interacts with messing with arsenals and doing that kind of stuff is strong like bull. But I think that this set, at the very least, is really gearing up to have potential to be a very good sealed set.
I think it's going to be really great for sealed. I'm really excited, just from what I've seen so far. I think that it's It's going to be a really fun set. High
And
hopes.
I think that's I think it's important that we have like a really if they're gonna do these sealed sets so spread out, right? Like we're only getting 1 or 2 sealed opportunities a year. I think it's incredibly important that they're very good and they have a lot of replayability because that's one thing about Fab that I think hasn't caught on. And again, you're kind of playing as much as I know it's a bad I know it's just a god awful thought. It's basically a bad word to say Magic. But you everything that you're doing as Fab, you have to find something kind of comparable to what Magic is doing if you ever hope to take down the big boy, right? Or even stand on the same ground. If you want to be the king, you gotta match him. And I think that some of the things that Magic beats Fab at that they need to find solutions for is they need like a set that you can sit down with people and have fun with. Something that's more casual. And they have yet to find that. I think they hoped that that would be UPF, and so far that's been kind of a you know fart in a whirlwind. It's just
I hope that
not
it's. I wish that there was like a solution for getting draft games in that like didn't create so much waste. Because like that's
right.
such a fun way to play the game, and I would love
Mhm.
for them to do like, maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, every year they do like a retro set where it's like, welcome to Wraith, white border, like this is the set that we're producing this year that's like a callback, and this year you get to play this as like your draft. And like like something like that would be cool, but
Yeah,
it'd be so wasteful because like
I I think the key there is that other games, again, everyone go ahead and yell at me in the comments. One of the things that Magic does really well is they produce these sets that are very draftable. I don't know if they are anymore, but if you go to almost any card game shop on a night where they have Magic, people draft Magic nonstop. They do
mhm.
sealed Magic nonstop. It is a format that is like sought after, and stores can just keep cycling through their product and burning through, and it's good for everybody, right? The players, if they get a good
Except for
experience,
the
it's good for the
planet.
players, except for the planet. But one thing that again Magic will do that nobody in Fab has really emulated yet is people have cubes. They literally have like a box and they're like, here's my
Yep.
draft cube for this set. But a lot of that, I think people haven't done it is because a lot of people didn't play in Welcome to Wraith, so they don't understand how good of a set that was to draft and how fun it was to play sealed. So nobody took the time to go chase down and build a cube for that. And then most of the sets since then have kind of been, you draft and do sealed either on release weekend or at events, but then you kind of avoid it like the plague. It's like nobody really wants to sit down and play Tales of Aria. Everybody can act like they want to, but if you like drafting Tales of Aria, you're either like a masochist and you love to be hurt, or you just don't understand
Got
what draft and sealed is supposed to be because that
can't do
set
nothing
sucks
for you.
nuts. Yeah, it sucks nuts, man. Like, oh, cool. I lost because you hit me 4 times and got 4 tokens and then dealt 11 arcane damage to me. Awesome. What a game. This is exciting. I hope we build this into a cube. I'll come hang out with you guys and play cube with it. No, I'd rather just not play games at all. Like that just sounds like a terrible experience. But we're back to melee in this set, which means it's time for some fun. Like time for like a cool, fun, exciting.
Yeah,
set.
I think may just having one source of damage will make the experience better. You just don't lose to
Not drafting. Yeah.
yeah,
Not having arcane barrier.
right. Just there's no auto loss, so it'll feel good. I was just I was looking at my plays of just games in general. So I've been tracking all of my game playing this year. In January started out hot. I had 29 game plays for the month. I'm only at 5 in February, which is a little
Numbers.
Wow.
well,
Really?
well, one got sick. So I was sick for like a week and had to cancel, which would have been 4 extra gameplays of probably Crisis Protocol and or Blood Bowl. But yeah, just not much at all. It really I need to change that is what I need to do. Like the only game, like me and Beth, she had off all this week. We played Too Many Bones together cooperatively, which was fine. I think it's just a better solo game personally. Like I'll never bring it with now. I'm like,
You
it
like
wasn't.
Too Many Bones solo, huh? So I
Yeah,
was reading online, and a lot of people were saying that like it's fine solo, but it's like a really good like party game, like with like a party of people. I mean, not like a fucking rager.
I mean, maybe I just enjoyed it tremendously as a solo experience.
I'm gonna have to look into that one too then.
But that and then Blood Bowl played Mason, and I'm probably gonna put that up on my channel because he gets so triggered at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He was up 2-0, and the second I killed his Yeti, and he couldn't roll anybody back in, and just
Yeah.
he was
Chris got my
so
Yeti.
triggered at the end. I'm like, what do you want me to do, dude? I'm fast. I got strip ball. I took the ball and I score. That's what I do.
Dude, I'm so like that game against Chris was wild, and he induced a wizard, so he dropped a wizard on me too. But he got my Yeti. That's the first time I've lost the Yeti all season, and now I don't have him going into the first round of playoffs.
Again, you and Mason both are Yeti-less, so it'll be a wash.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah,
that's really
Yeti-less
exciting
Norse.
because first game of the season, Mason waxed me. Like he just was killing everybody. I permadied, like one of my players got permadeathed, and then I was down like 5 players going into the second half, and he just scored like 4 touchdowns on me because I had nothing that could stop him.
So right now,
So this would be really good.
Chris thinks he's going to have this huge inducement. He doesn't know I'm probably going to fire a shit ton of players before the beginning of that game.
So that you don't. Yeah, that's funny.
I'd rather just go in with. I'd rather go with 11 and not give up a ton of inducements. Otherwise, he's gonna have a Stella out there with guard on his 4 strength and just kills me. So I'm gonna be like, fuck that bitch. And
that's smart.
I fired a bunch of guys.
And then your salary cap, I mean, you're looking good for next season, you know, for the
I'm not
rebuild.
playing this team next season.
Yeah, he's not playing humans next year.
No. The lack of 4 strength guys in Blood Bowl is a major you need to have a team that can field more than one 4+ strength guy. You just have to.
Or they need to have combat skills at the very least.
I'm playing elves, so
but elves do have 2 agility, which humans don't have. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, the dodgy nature of them is much better. I felt bad because I played my other league game this week, and I was talking to the guy beforehand. We were having to talk about how, you know, I was down a player. He had just he was just saved up. He was about to get his 4th big boy for his orc team, and I killed one of his 4 strength orcs, and then I missed next game another one. So he was like,
he's like, I gotta buy fucking linemen again now.
Yeah, I felt bad because I'm like, it was a fun game, and it was one of those moments where I'm just like, I just need these 4 strength guys off the pitch. I need to have some strength advantage. I need to stop getting bullied around. And then I killed one, and I was like, oh, that was I didn't even mean to do that. And then immediately, like 2 turns later, I sent another one off with a miss next game, and he goes from thinking next game I get 4 strengths to I hope next game I can field 2 4 strengths.
So
I was like, sorry, guy. Sorry about that.
Funny realization I came up with today as well. So I pre-ordered Blood Bowl 3 for computer.
Yep.
So that I can practice with new teams, try out new stuff. I have yet to play Talishar one time. And I think part of the reason still is, and everybody's like, it's great when they tell me in person or whatever, or message me like, no, Talishar is great. Everything I ever see about that is posting incredible combos where their opponent gets triggered, says shitty things to them, and leaves.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of,
which if you're playing against a friend, that's fine. But watching a lot of the Blood Bowl, now you're still going to have it. It just doesn't seem as prevalent. Like people embrace it more.
I think
Yeah.
Blood Bowl is better as a game at, like Blake said from the beginning, and you too, Jason, probably. I just remember Blake saying it. Like Blood Bowl does such a good job of making it okay that you are failing rolls, that you're, like it's a part of the game. Like I
Yeah.
can't describe it any better than you feel like a coach yelling at your players to do shit, and sometimes they even do it. Like, like you're like,
Yeah.
fucking go up there and block him, and he trips trying to dodge away from another guy and falls, and it's the end of your turn. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's okay, because Chris, he had to stop a guy from. I went and took down his guy that broke away and was running for the end zone. I knocked the ball out of his hand. Chris, I couldn't pick up the ball because it was fucking pouring rain and it was a negative. So I didn't do it. Ended my turn. Chris went for the dodge on a character to get away and go down and pick up the ball after assisting that block that I had that guy down there on his ball carrier, and just failed dodge. Had a dodge with a reroll. Failed. End of his turn. Back to me. And it's like I still can't do anything because of the way that everything's positioned. But it's shit happens so much going both ways that you don't even worry about it, which
I think
that's unlike Flesh and Blood,
Yeah.
right? People
Yeah.
take it real serious.
One of the things about Fab that I think is a huge positive for the game, but then sometimes can be a negative, is that the game that people talk all the time about how what makes Fab great is you have so much agency as a player, you have so much control over things, and it's such a high skill cap game. And the problem is when those times happen where you get comboed or somebody plays a crazy card or something goofy happens, like you block exactly right, and then they have the one out to it. It's like, oh, they have a double attack reaction, and now they're going to draw cards off of a snatch or a force of nature or something stupid, and then they get another thing, and all of a sudden the turn spirals on you, and you took 20 damage, you blocked with all your cards. You're like, that's not supposed to happen. You're not frustrated because it happened, because it happens in all games, right? Sometimes the game just loses its mind and something weird happens, but you're upset because the game inherently feels very well balanced. It feels like you have a lot of agency and you control your own destiny. So when things go wrong, it's easy to get frustrated. But like Dane said, in Blood Bowl, you just accept that something goes wrong. Like I always compare it to the Daniel Jones play for the Giants, where he's running in the wide open field, 20 yards ahead of everyone. And it's like, he's a professional athlete. What he does for a living is get paid millions of dollars to run and throw the ball. And what does he do? In the wide open field, completely by himself, the turf monster gets him and he just falls while running in a straight line by himself in perfect conditions. And you're just like, yeah, sometimes you do a thing in Blood Bowl and you're like, okay, I can't fail this. I have to roll a 2 or higher on a dice, and I have 2
with
tries.
a reroll. Yep.
Yeah. What are the odds that I go 1-1? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, in Blood Bowl, you will find out it is surprisingly often that you will go 1-1, but it only ever happens when you need it to happen.
Yep.
Like when you're doing something stupid and there's no.
It will always be when you're going for it, when you're rushing to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Before Daniel Jones did that, Chris Carter against the Giants, 41 donut, Vikings lose NFC Championship game, catches a ball pretty close to wide open field. Guy kind of comes by him and just throws the ball up into a defender's hand.
Yeah.
Like Chris Carter, like nobody touched it. He just lost control of the ball randomly. I mean, like that.
I mean, Jalen Hurts did that in the Super Bowl. He was literally trying to run. He was trying to just.
And then trying to sue him.
Yeah, he was trying to switch hands with the ball, something you've done a million times in your life, and he just flat out drops it and then kicks it away from himself.
Right to him. Here, I'm gonna make sure you guys, there's nobody around for you to score.
Yeah. It's like a skill player is going to run down a linebacker or a defensive lineman who's going to pick that ball up. But if you give them a 10-yard head start before they have to pick the ball up, it makes their life a whole lot easier to pick it up and score. And I mean, that's I think that's the thing that is you have to embrace about Blood Bowl and why some people I'm sure wouldn't like it. But it's something that makes the game, they build the game around that feeling of it's chaos. Yeah, it's fantasy races playing football. What are you going to do?
Yeah, you're a bunch of
Speaking of
little fucking.
football,
They're literally called snotlings, and trolls
Yeah.
and ogres throw them around, and sometimes if you
Eat them.
fail dice rolls, they eat them. Like it's fucking ridiculous, and it's
Yeah.
it's the best.
speaking of football and bad parenting, so I allow my 18-year-old son, or not allow, I take my 18-year-old son to the casino. The kid walks into the casino with $200, walks out with 470, right? First time at the casino. So that's a nice lesson to try to teach him, like, dude, this doesn't happen all the way. So he's like, I want to do some sports betting on the Super Bowl. I'm like, that's fine. Don't throw too much in it, right? Because you don't win those. And he's looking at all the funny prop bets. I'm like, just don't go more than $5 on him. Do the weird, ridiculous one. Wins like a half of them. So he wins a ton of money on the Super Bowl, right? Would have won a lot more if you didn't listen to me and stick all the money on him. Then he opens a Robinhood account at the same time and buys some Dogecoin, and that goes up like 10% within the first 3. So the kid right now is on fire between gambling and investing. He's on like he has fully embraced the 18-year-old lifestyle of I'm an adult. I am just going to do all of this
He's
stuff.
looking at this right now, just like why do I even need a job? Like this is easy. I just made the easiest $900 of my life.
And with Robinhood, I'm like, yes, open up Robinhood, buy some penny stocks, not a ton of money, and then buy the secure stuff and throw $100 in a month while you're working before you go to college. And then when you're off and you have your job, because by the time you're done with school, that could be 10 grand easily just by investing in good companies that have slow growth. So, but all the other gambling stuff, that's probably, you expect them to lose. You bring them to the casino, like,
Yeah.
they'll probably lose, $50, $100. Good life lesson. No, kid's on a hot streak.
You know who never loses at the casino? The guy who doesn't gamble and stands there with their friend who just doesn't drink but only gambles.
Free booze.
You put your hand out. You're like, just put it right here. Just when they come by, just grab you put it right here. And then I just stand there and watch people throw dice off the craps table. And
I walked out spending a whopping $10. So I was there.
That was the best part of Vegas. Best part of Vegas was sitting around while Robert was playing slots and just like hanging out and drinking. Making
like,
fun of
what's happening.
I drink. I played. I just didn't I just pull out when you get small winnings. I don't bet a lot. Just have fun. The tables were too busy, and they're all packed. So I'm not gonna play blackjack with a bunch of noobs and just you know what I mean.
That's where Big Balls Dylan came from. Was just like bullshitting when other people were gambling.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's it just happens.
I just like to imagine that Jason has now shifted. Like now that Mason has taken up the mantle of gambling in the family, Jason was over at the penny slots all night with his $10. You ever watch those?
This is how I stay afloat. $10.
Yeah.
This is all I can.
He was getting all the first 3 machines I sat down, I pulled between $30 and $50 out. So that pretty much was my money for the whole night. Like I won enough just to gamble the whole night in my first 3 machines. And he's just like, Jesus, I'm not winning on anything. Well, then I get
been gambling for a whole fucking hour of his entire life. God, am I winning at all?
The one moment that you'll get is at the blackjack table, because one of my buddies gave him free play money for blackjack. So you have to turn the free play into real money. $25 up. He was going $25 a hand and doubled down and won. And that was pretty much like from there on, the night just skyrocketed from there. Like just hit on that one for $100 and just kept going. I get a text later while we're playing bingo, because that's what old people do, is you go play bingo at the casino. So we're playing cosmic bingo. Dad, I just hit on roulette $75. I'm like, Jesus. go over to leave. We're leaving. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I got $5 in free play on it. Sticks it in the last machine. Hits it $20. Oh, I'm gonna take that too. Cashes it out right away. I'm like, Jesus, dude. His buddy's just shaking his head. He's like, he hasn't lost at a machine all night. I can't win, and he can't lose.
Yeah, I feel like what you need to do is make sure like you program in his phone the Gamblers Anonymous hotline, because like this only goes south, right? Like there's no world where someone goes this hot right off the bat and doesn't end up like down $1,000 in a couple of weeks.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. He hasn't wanted to like go there again, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
If he was like
yeah.
coming to you like after dinner, like, hey,
Hey,
Dad, can we go
let's,
back to the casino?
go to Running Aces and go
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
at the table, Dad.
If you text him and you're like, "Hey, you're late? We had food for you. I thought you said you're coming to dinner." It's like, "Yeah, no. I'm just a couple more machines. I'm only down like $10. I can get back even, Dad. I can get back even.
Grinding it out. I'm grinding it out.
I'm grinding it out. I'm right there, man. I'm so close. I'm so close.
This one's gonna hit. I can feel it. It's gonna hit.
I can feel it." And you like walk in and he's on like 3 machines simultaneously, like doing the tap across them, trying to just
Well, that's what I told
Yeah.
at first. He's hitting the button really fast. I'm like, dude, enjoy it. Don't
Mhm.
rush the machine. I'm like, you just nice and easy. You can take a breather in between. Like, see people that are just like they're trying to win money. They're hitting the button so fast. Like,
Uh,
I am a legitimate 5 to 6 seconds. I like to see what's around me in between each button push. Like, I enjoy my time there. Like, I don't need to
Mhm.
speed through this.
I just enjoy the people. My favorite thing to watch are the people who are clearly like psychotically and like neurotically keeping track of the exact rhythm that they're doing things at, because they're so superstitious that
Mhm.
they're like watching people play bubble craps, and you'll see someone hit the button 3 times and they'll lose, and you watch them the next time they hit it 4 times and they'll win, and then they'll stay on 4 and they'll stay on 4, and then they lose and they go up to 5 or they back down to 2, and they're like in their head they're like, I'm just going to push it a couple different times, I'm going to win this time. You're like, hey man,
That's how you know someone
I
has
don't
healthy processes.
yeah, you're like, I'm not sure you should be here. I do not think that this is a healthy environment for you, and you should find another hobby. Like,
Oh, they're well beyond hobby.
Yeah.
Well
This is-
beyond hobby.
this is not a hobby. They definitely have had like a finger broken or something at a casino at some point in their life, or going, into the back room betting on something that you don't even, you got to get an invite. This guy's back there.
They probably should have a hobby anonymous line as well as a gambling anonymous, because
Yeah.
I mean, I've like looked at board games to buy that like I said, I've had a slow month of playing, and I'm still looking like, oh, I kind of want that one. I'm looking, through all my systems that I have of where I find board games. I'm like, I should buy that one. I'm like, why? But then I'm like, it's bad. It's as bad as gambling, I think, sometimes.
But you know what? You can do math. I always argue that the one thing about board games is I can always argue that if I play it a few times, that my dollar to play ratio is just only gets better.
Oh,
Right? If you spend $30 on a game, once you play it 3 times, you're at $10 a play. It's
Yeah,
like
you're
there's not
10 price
I
per
can't
play.
even I can barely go to Chipotle for $10 at this point in my life. Like, it's everything you do is more than
That's actually
$10.
a good goal in life, is to get all your board games you own to $1 price per play.
And that's why Jason's just sold like 25 board games, because he's like, I'm not doing that.
I'll
all these.
sell, if like you don't play them or you don't want to play it again, you got to know when to let them go. Like you believe the hype, you read the hype, and then you buy the hype, and then you play. And this is a true thing that goes through people's heads. You want to believe that you like the game because of all the hype, and you
Yeah.
should keep it because everybody else likes it.
Mhm.
But if you don't like it, just accept the fact that you bought into the hype failed you, and now it's time to let her go, and you need to release and move on
So
to a new
what's
board game.
what's the game that you're trying
Talking
to
about.
not buy the hype on right
Yeah.
now? What do you
So
have one?
I'm gonna tell you my mistake game. My mistake game was My Father's Work. Beautiful components.
Mhm.
It was a story worker placement with a story. I'm like, I like story games. I like worker placement. The problem is when you play worker placement games, you find a way to do well, just like Fab. Like you can find an avenue in a system to go. And when the game, spoiler alert, in the middle says, "Oh, you know this invention you've been working on since the very beginning. We're going to change that right now. It's a totally new one. Grab a random one." So all that stuff you built up, it's no good. So start over halfway through the second era of a 3-era game. You're like, "Well, go fuck yourself." That's not good story.
Yeah.
And so it was gone. So like the hype was there, hype loss. The two main hype games now, the one I own, one I don't own. The one I don't own is Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I could have bought it easily, I didn't, and now it's sold out. Really upset. And Dwellings of Everdale are kind of the same. But ISS Vanguard, lot of hype. Bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Love that game. Worth the
Oh, you
hype.
do love it. Good. Okay. 'Cause
Love,
you've
love,
been
love,
talking about
love
that
that
one for
game.
a while.
Well,
Yeah.
me and Beth did a bunch. We probably got like probably 5 hours into it right now. We took it down because I want to play a couple other games and then put it back up because it's a legacy story game. So
Mm-hmm. See, I'm weirdly obsessed. Like I always get obsessed about certain games, and it's like I just want to play this game. So the game I've been looking for is just like one of the Undaunted games, just because it seems like the system seems very interesting to me and how it functions as a game. And
the new Undaunted.
Stalingrad, yeah,
Yes, that
yeah,
if
it
you
looks
buy that, I will
really
play
good.
that with you.
Yeah,
So
it
just so
looks.
you know,
Yeah.
you are not wasting your money because I will absolutely play Undaunted Stalingrad with you. I watched the Shut Up and Sit Down.
Oh,
It looks amazing.
I hope they're getting a cut because that alone basically got me invested in wanting to get my hands on it. I've always liked the Undaunted system. It's always seemed very interesting to me the way that they do it and the way that it feels dynamic in a very, closed system. Like it's not you don't have a ton of actions. A lot of times for a game to feel dynamic, it feels like you need to have a lot of actions
Like
and a
30
lot of
different
things.
options. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, Undaunted doesn't have you typically like, if you're targeting a specific character on your opponent's side, you have 2 options, like, you suppress them or you attack them, but that's it. That's pretty much all you can do to really interact with them, but it's about the fact that it brings an element of dice that are mostly predictable in that you can do some decent odds. It's like you're gonna roll 2 dice, you're gonna roll 4 dice, you need to get a 7 on one of those dice to accomplish what you're trying to do. Well, the 4 one is better odds, but and it's all about planning like your next steps. And then I like the fact that the game interests me because I like games that you play against each other, but you're not trying to accomplish the same thing. Like that the
Yeah,
asymmetric win
Yes.
asymmetrical
cons
win cons are
Just like
are
Oath, the
always
game that
so
Dane
interesting.
loved.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am genuinely excited to play Oath again. Just for the record, like I do think
I
that game
But
seems super fun.
Root's the same way. Root's a game like
Yeah.
that, where
Yeah.
you're different goals. No, like I
Yeah.
said, you buy it, I'm in. I mean, it's got an 8.9 on Board Game Geek. That's the
It
rating it's at.
yeah. It
That's
looks
ridiculously high.
the thing that interests me about it is the fact as beyond like the mechanical side of it is I love that it has like a played through scenario thing that has the story of like you're fighting over different areas of the same
Of
city. So
Germany.
That's
Yes.
that's
you'll
what I
come
loved.
back and
Like Sleeping Gods, the Red Raven games. What's the other one that you brought and we played?
near and far.
Near and Far. I love that like story, like expansive
story-driven.
world,
Yep.
story driven game. Like that's
Yeah.
so cool to me. Like that would be a really fun. I would play that game just on my own, like it's a video game,
Mm-hmm.
just to like know
So
what happens.
I've enjoyed playing a lot of these more than I play video games now. I just rather play if I have the choice, I usually will just do a solo board game rather than video game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just enjoy and that's part of the reason why I never play on
tactileness of it.
Galashar.
Yeah.
Just I like to touch the cards and the feel and the movement and not, you stand up, you're up and down looking at the board. I don't know. I just think it's more thinky and you're not
Yeah.
on this weight, or there's music, and your guy starts getting antsy because you're not moving. Like, I don't know.
I will say that will change when the new Witcher game comes out. But until then, or until Diablo, because Robert's been playing the beta for Diablo, and that is
It's Zelda for me, man.
yeah, that's true. The new Zelda comes out. I
Oh,
never played
God.
the first one though. Sheldon did, got
Oh,
that for him, but
Zelda Breath of the Wild is my favorite video game of all time, hands down, no questions asked.
see,
It
just
is.
playing The Witcher 3, like that just blew my mind. That was like my first like experience playing a game where I was like constantly being caught off guard.
Mhm.
Like I loved like the fact that I was running from like point A to point B and I heard like crying. So I went and checked it out, and like this whole like side quest came up where I ended up having to like decide whether or not to kill a witcher from the school of the cat because like he was jumped by these village people who couldn't afford to pay him, and he murdered them. And it's like I don't know what to do with this because like kind of he's not wrong, but like also all because like you randomly heard this kid crying just going point A to point B. It's this whole expansive like 45-minute thing. It's like that's how can you beat that? I will play those games forever.
That's what I love about Breath of the Wild is it's such an immersive experience, and the world is so open, and there are a million side quests and a million little side missions and puzzles to solve and extra things to do, and it's just the fact that you get to dive deeper and deeper into the world, and you get to go like farther and farther down the rat hole, and there's all these little things you can try out and side quests where you can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend hours literally just going from merchant to merchant, buying things and trading things to get a new like saddle for your horse.
One of
It's
my
like
What?
one of
Okay,
my
what is? Do you guys? So I have a favorite video game of all time.
yeah
okay,
okay
So obviously yours is Breath of the Wild, right, Blake?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So mine, Beth watched me play the whole game through because the cinematic cutscenes were so good. It was on PS2. She loved watching me play the game because she was invested in the story.
Mass
And that
Effect.
was Final Fantasy X.
Oh,
That
Oh yeah.
game
I mean,
was freaking. That's my favorite game of all time that I've ever played. Is
I
I
Final
love
Fantasy X.
I loved the Final Fantasy games. I've always loved
Mhm.
Final Fantasy
But that
games.
specific one was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing all the way through.
Yep. My first experience with I remember one of like my favorite games on original PlayStation was Final Fantasy 7. I remember when that came
Yeah,
Oh
out
that
yeah,
one's
and it was just so
just
good.
classic.
yes.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
favorite video game ever is it's Witcher. It's got to be Witcher 3.
We
I like
so
Witcher.
we actually the the reason Breath of the Wild I think also is so good to me is kind of the same thing, Jason, except our whole family would sit down
Yeah, you guys got
and
like the
play
family ties to
together.
it.
Yeah. So like we would play together. We would just hand off the remote and doing different things. Like Sarah
Right.
she likes to hunt and gather. She likes to just ride around and look for things and find stuff. So she would do that. I would do the fighting. Zeph would do certain quests. Trin would do puzzle quests. And like we would as a family take turns, and we have literally thousands of hours invested into that game. And to the point that Zeph would speed run it. So he would try to see because you have to beat the 4 beasts before you beat Ganon. So there's like 4 different blights that you have to fight before you fight Ganon to win. And Zeph would just skip all the part that you're supposed to do where you build up your strength and build up your ability to fight and get better weapons. He would run straight to the in a straight line to one blight, then to the next one, then to the next one, then to the next one, then fight Ganon. And he would literally earn nothing. He would not cash in any of his abilities. He would try to beat the entire game on like 4 hearts when you could build like a maximum of like 20. And he would just see if he could beat the whole thing. And he would try to do it like one sitting. He'd sit down and try to beat the whole game in like an hour and just see if he could just speed run the whole thing. And it became this like obsession he would do like once every week or two. He would try to speed run Zelda and see if he could beat it faster or more efficiently than every other time he's beat it.
That's kind of crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I got nothing else.
That's it.
I got
That's all
nothing
I got.
else.
I don't either. That's it for me.
We didn't even talk
Yeah.
about like Blood Bowl.
Yeah, we
No.
did.
I mean, we did a little bit.
What
Who-
do you were
We're
you
getting
not were you not
getting-
there? You talked about your game.
the-
Well, yeah, but that's not like us going into like our season so far and like how we're going into playoffs and who we're playing and how we're
Oh,
feeling
no.
with our teams.
We can do that other weeks.
Yeah, we'll do that in the future.
Yeah, we gotta talk. We can talk next week because we start the playoffs this week.
That's true.
It's big time. Big time. It's playoff time.
It's big time.
Big time.
Yeah. All right.
Slap in the Bursa.
That's all we got. Thanks for joining us for another week. We will look forward to speaking with you next week, giving you some updates on all our games and what's going on. Make sure that you update us with what you're playing. Let us know in the comments what games you enjoy, if there's stuff that we should check out. If you disagree with some of our takes on the games that we like, fuck you, but still tell us because we would love to know why we were wrong. So we will talk to you later. Peace.